So then I'll forget. Like I write it down on my So you have to be like. How Give me life, keep me breathing, but help me go with this heavy load. I breathe through it, heart so won't you please, oh, won't you give me peace on earth, give me life, keep me.
Thank you all for being here to celebrate the life of Jay Anderson, an amazing human being, an artist, more than a woodworker, an artist in wood, a father and a grandfather and husband, sibling, and a person who is missed. I'd like to begin with a poem for Mary, singular, and each name a comfortable music in the mouth, tending as all music does towards silence. And each body a lion of courage and something precious to the earth. When it's over, I want to say all my life, I was a bride married to amazement. I was a bridegroom taking the world into my arms. When it is over, I don't want to wonder if I have made of my life something particular and real. I don't want to find myself sighing and full of argument. I don't want to end up simply having visited this world. As is evidenced by you folks gathered here, Jay Anderson didn't just visit this world. He made something of his life. But another piece of music was chosen by the family. Wonderful. Wonderful. Now we'll have some sharing of thoughts by the grandchildren, Jay's grandchildren, and also by Jay's cousin, Jim. I ask you to come to the microphone and stand here because this is being live streamed. We have people who don't have the possibility of being with us today, so they're watching us live and they'll want to hear your words as well. So I invite the grandchildren to come up, please.
microphone. Can everybody hear me? Okay. I'm Camille, and I don't only want to mourn Papa J, but I want to rejoice in his life. He was an inspiration to all of us, and he gave me so many cool memories I can never forget. All the trips to Wishbone and Applebee's and Austin Park. You know, he ever showed love, and he sparked joy in my life. This is not a goodbye. For as long as we hold these memories, he is still truly here in our hearts. Thank you, Papa J, for teaching me your values of faith and love that I will forever cherish. And I just want to say that all of your last words for Papa J, they don't have to be his last words. He's still here with us in our hearts. And I know he's looking at us right now from heaven. He's probably so happy that all of us are here. And although I wasn't able to say this to him physically, I recently did a project with him for my U.S. history class, and I interviewed him about the Vietnam War and the draft. And although I can't say this to him in real life, I just want to tell him that I got 100%. And I know he'd be so proud to hear that. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Charlie. Hard to follow, but Papa J was always filled with positivity, and he brought it out in everyone around him. He's impacted all his loved ones and myself, and his creativity always inspired me and created an amazing childhood, an awesome summer camp in Bloomington. And I'm forever grateful that I had Papa J as my grandpa that got 19 years to spend with him.
I'm Daisy. Papa J was the best grandfather anyone could have had. Every minute I got to spend with Papa J, he would always reassure me how proud he was of me, which always kept me going. Because I know he always meant every single one of his words. He always kept a warm, loving smile on his face and only spread positivity and love. All he ever wanted was for his family and friends to be happy all the time. Papa J was the kindest person in the whole entire world, and I hope everyone aspires to be the kind of person that he was.
Hi, I'm Jim Turner. I'm Katie's cousin. Jay was a brother to me after my brother Harold died. And I wish I could have thanked him and told him how much I loved and admired him. But maybe he knew that. I want to thank Katie for bringing him into our family. We're all so fortunate. The hard part is it takes till someone passes away to really understand how special they are, how wonderful they are. It's a hard part of life. But I do feel so fortunate for knowing him, and I'm so grateful to Katie and all of you. God bless you, Jay, and thank you always.
Now we'll take a little time. If there are others here who wish to say a few words about Jay, you're welcome to do that. And I ask you to be brief in honor of everyone's time that might want to share. But if you'd like to, please come on up and you can come up the line. If we have one coming, but come right on up so you're ready next. Introduce yourself, please.
Thank you. My name is Bob Proctor, and known Jay since the early 1960s. And we shared some amazing experiences together, centered around a group of girls that went to Broderville High School. A lot of our Central boys seem to be very fond. Jay and Katie and Mary and I lived together in a house in Lafayette. They lived downstairs where it was warm, we lived upstairs where it was cold. But we shared that house, and then we decided that we were gonna save on rent, and we went out and cut down trees and made lodge poles, and Katie and Mary sewed teepees. And in the spring, the two couples with their babies, Dahlia and Jessica, who are both here, moved to our brand new teepees out west of West Lafayette, Indiana. And we spent an amazing summer out there. Jay had a massive garden. I had no interest in that garden whatsoever. But Jay was in there faithfully every day. We had a refrigerator on a long extension cord in the middle of the garden that the two families and their teepees shared. Subsequently, Jay and I and three other guys, John Hill was one of them back in the back, started a company together. We call it Big Laugh Construction unofficially and Quince Incorporated officially. And we were mad. We framed and framed and framed houses. I'll be briefer. There's a long story here, people. And the man is just a wonderful person. He's been a light in my life, all my life. I want to try to express, someone mentioned that he was a wonderful woodworker. It takes a combination of your eye and your mind and your ability to translate that into something concrete. And Jay had that just completely. He understood how to take the feelings inside of him and put it into art, or wood, especially with wood. He taught as a person, very introspective, kind of quiet person, taught me how to tell other people that I love. And that's the gift that he gave me. He would look at me and he'd go, I love you, man. And and I finally learned, Jay, I love you too. I love you. And then I learned how to tell other people. And that's the gift that Jay gave me, and I think he gave it to a lot of other people. The last thing I want to say, when you mentioned that he's in your heart, he's literally a part of you, your grandchildren, that he's there, not only in your heart, but he's completely a part of you. You'll carry him with you all your lives, and you'll pass that on to children and their children. And Jay will literally always be there. I love all of you. I'm glad you're here. Thank you, Jay.
Hi, I'm Jim Turner's sister, Katie's cousin, and I just want to convey the condolences of Ed's and my children, Matthew and Peter and their spouses, and Jim's and my nieces, Laura and Catherine, all of whom were extremely fond of Jay, and I'm so grateful they got to know him. I knew, sort of following up on what Bob said, I knew Jay was special before I met him. Katie came to our wedding in 1981. Jay wasn't able to attend, and she gives me this gift, this threadboard. It's 3 different colors, perfectly, seamlessly combined, totally smooth, and I just was stunned. I thought this was just a creation through magic. And then she says, oh, well, Jay made this. Jay made this? I couldn't believe it. And then, of course, when I got to know Jay, I knew it wasn't just that he was an extraordinary creative, extraordinary craftsperson. He was also exceptionally gentle, kind, so generous. Think of our memories, with our family, Ed and I would come out to the race in Brooklyn, and Jay and Katie too would attend to all logistics, feeding us, driving us around, and in the later years, I know Jay couldn't even go to the race, and it was a huge him, but he did it anyway. I would always try to get him to complain. How are you really, Jay? He said, no, he was so just filled with joy, and I delighted in hearing him talk about his grandchildren, how wonderful they are. And then he seemed to delight in our children. He was always following what our son Matthew did, and then Peter was coming to Bloomington with his band. And I told Jay, and Jay said, "Where do you want to go?" And Peter, Jay and Katie wanted to hear you. He goes, "Oh, Mom, this is like a crust pump. It's in a basement of some house in Bloomington. I don't think it's the right place for Katie and Jay." And so I warned Jay, said, no, we're going. Afterwards, I said, "Jay, what was it like?" Wouldn't say a word about the venue, just talked about Peter's musicianship, the band, the music. But he was just so sweet. He only saw the positive. And I think the memory and I'm so glad he came also to Peter's wedding in April and my sister's memorial in July in East Hampton. And I'm so glad I was able to tell him this on April 1st, that my fondest, most enduring memory of Jay comes from Dahlia's wedding. And I'd come out to Chicago, never been there before, and I wake up and, didn't know where I was, really did not on the door. I open the door, and there's Jay with a cup of coffee. Now, I love coffee, it was really important, but that's not the memory I'm going to treasure forever. The memory is that sometime that morning, I looked out on Lake Michigan and the sand, and Jay had carved into the sand in 6-foot-long letters for Dahlia, "I love you." And for me, Jay will always be not just one who loved and not just one who was so well loved. He was a man of love.
I'm Darrell Breeden. I know some of you in here, but not a lot. I just want to say, when I first met Jay, it was Vic and Lynn's house. And I remember when he first walked up to me, I thought, this guy's got Robert Redford's hair, Paul Newman's eyes, and a smile that would just light the world. But there's one thing that I remember about him, and I saw him recently at Vic's birthday party. It was his handshake. He had the most beautiful hands, and when he took your hand, it was like a big hug. He didn't have to hug me. It just enveloped my hand like no one I've ever met in my life. And he just was so warm and tender that I'll never forget that handshake. It kind of showed in his art, but it certainly showed in my hand when he took it. It was just a feeling that this man loves everybody, and kind of made me want to be like him. I'm not. I've seen him at Vic's birthday party, and glad to have had that last handshake. It was so special.
Hi, I'm Dahlia, and this is my brother Emery, and we're just so blessed and lucky to have been raised by a man that, like everybody knows, that's what he taught us, is love and how to have fun and just to be open. And I am thrilled that, this picture that's here was just last month, and we were able to visit Daisy. And when he found out that she was going to be there for the semester in Europe, he immediately said that we were going to go, and we did. And so that was super, super special. And also the last time that I spoke with him, we always laugh a lot on the phone, like every time. It would just be nothing but laughs. And he asked about each one of you. And he told me I was a great mom, and he was proud of all of our families. We talked about everyone, and this was just last Saturday. And then he's like, I don't know why he brought it up, but he just remembered when the last full-time job that I had, I was selling wine which involved driving around the city of Chicago with a lot of wine bottles and visiting restaurants to sell the wine. And I had a convertible Mustang, and he just was talking about, I just remember that was like some of my favorite times, riding with you in that car and getting like free lunches and free drinks and we used to sell a lot of wine. We would just walk in with that big smile and laugh, and it was just amazing. And then we laughed about the turtle, Chunkosaurus, a big turtle in the Chicago River, and he used to go look it up, and like, it was, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, we're just so lucky, and I'm so grateful for everyone that's here, and everything that you've said is so true. You want to say anything, Emily?
I just thought a lot about like I said, how fortunate, how fortunate we've been, and
The van rides.
the van rides.
We had a van with nothing in it, but sometimes a swing set, foam, mattress, sometimes sand. Mickey, Renee, in Florida, he put sand in the bottom of the truck so that we could have sand at our feet still.
We
Didn't want to leave. So we just put the beach in the car.
John Wheeler's in here, and John and I met in Little League, and John, like I said, he doesn't know that you right away. Well, because he's like, oh, we got the best player in the league. Yeah, I just thought a lot about all the people that I've met through him, you know, all the thousands of miles I've spent in the car with him, all the wonderful conversations I got to have over him. I guess, you know, I remember when I was really young, I used to say, you're the best boy in the world. I would think, that's not right. It can't be true. And I realized, you know, shortly after he passed away, that we were all the luckiest people in the world to have known him.
Thank you, everybody, for being here and celebrating this man that taught everyone about love.
I'm often asked, is it difficult to do services like this for somebody you don't know real well? And, you know, I'm not your normal minister. I have no idea what happens when you die. I do have an idea when you don't live. I know what that means. I know a lot of people who haven't learned to live, who worry more about when they die than when they live. And what I try to do is encourage people to live. It seems to me, you know, Jay's death was quick. And I was telling someone a while ago, that's kind of what I hope for, is I want it to be quick when it comes. The difficult part about that is that, you know, you don't get an advance notice to say, hey, I want to tell you goodbye. I want to hug you one last time. I want to shake your hand one last time. But it's still a gift. And I always feel sort of in services like this, I kind of feel like a janitor. So I just sort of sit here and listen when people share, and I want to say your grandchildren. You know, the number one phobia in America is public speaking. The fact that you did this for your grandpa, Papa Jay, is a testament to your love for him and his love for you. And he would be extremely thankful for that. But I sort of listen as people talk, and what I hear about Jay Anderson is that he knew how to live. He knew how to live, and that's the most important thing to learn. I often feel like I'm the poorest person in the room, because almost everybody in this room knew Jay better than I. I only met him once or twice that I could remember. Family would be very genuine. And then as I visited with Katie in her home yesterday, and she walked me around the room in the house, looking at Jay's art. It's woodworking, but it's art. it's art that a person puts their heart into, a perfection that's only done by people who work with their heart, not just with their hands. And I was impressed with that. I was impressed with the fact that he's a musician. And I wish I had known him as well as some of you. So I want to say thank you, all of you, for being here. Thank you for those who shared. I'm sure there's been this shared that's not from this podium. You've shared with one another and shared with the family, and you've honored Jay's life. I also was thrilled to know that they lived in a teepee because my wife and two children as teenagers were in a teepee in Brown County for 5 years. And I'm glad there are other crazy people in the world. It kind of balances it out, you know. You see the beauty in his work. You see the beauty in his children and grandchildren. You see the beauty of this life in the stories that people tell and will tell for some time to come. The final reading for you, those who grieve. Do not hurry as you walk with grief. It does not help the journey to hurry. Walk slowly, pausing often. Do not hurry as you walk with grief. Be not disturbed by memories that come unbidden. Swiftly forgive and let love speak for you. Unspoken words, unfinished conversation, all will be resolved in love. Be not disturbed. Be gentle with the one who walks with grief. If it is you, be gentle with yourself. Swiftly forgive yourself. Walk slowly. Pause often. Take time. Be gentle as you walk with grief. And having done so many times in my life, and my parents and other siblings besides my twin brother were the only ones left, so I've walked with grief many times. And I've come to understand that grief at first is like some guy that comes sit down at your dinner table and won't leave. You can't get rid of him. You can't get rid of him. You want him to go away. But in time, you will find yourself sitting in a stoplight someday, and grief will get in the car. And I've had this happen. All of a sudden, you can't tell green from red because you're weeping and people are honking the horn because grief got in the car with you again. And as that has happened to me over the years, I've begun to realize grief really is a friend. Grief is a friend because if you didn't love so much, it wouldn't hurt so much, you know? That's what it is. Grief is a reminder of how deeply we loved. And every time grief comes, becomes in time a friend because it reminds you how deep you loved, how deep he loved you. So walk slowly, pause often, forgive yourself again and again swiftly. Be gentle as you walk with grief. Blessed be. A final prayer. Eternal Spirit of life, we send a voice in 4 directions into earth and sky, and in the name of all that is sacred in these gathered hearts, both here and with us online. We draw a circle around their lives, we draw a circle around their loves, and we ask that their hearts be settled, that they know deeply that Papa Jay, lives with them, walks with them, breathes with them, and loves them. Help us to walk sacredly upon this earth and remember those we have loved. Help us to forgive ourselves and to forgive others and live life as though it is worth something, because it is worth all that we have. In 4 directions, to earth and sky, and in the name of all that is sacred in these gathered folks, we do so send a voice. Blessed be. Music.
dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly, into the light of a dark black night. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly, into the light of a dark black night. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive.
Well, this is our service. Thank you very much for being here. You've enriched my life. And it's just a joy to me to see people who love each other so much. So thank you. Blessed be. And keep this family in your hearts and minds as you go through the day.
What direction is prayer memorizing? Okay, good. My wife,
Yeah, I know.